Hey, welcome to another Grumpy Acres Live, everybody. Listen, I realize this is an impromptu video. I decided to do it tonight and gave you very little notification. I realize that not very many people are going to watch this live, and that's cool. If you are watching it live, go ahead and say something in the chat just so I know who else here so that I can say hey and thank you for being here. Well, I'm waiting for people to do that. A little bit of housekeeping. If you're on Rumble, I cannot see your chat. Hey, Tambra, I cannot see your chat. So if you want to chat, you got to come over to the YouTube side of the house. And if you do, I appreciate you coming over and viewing it. If you stumble across this video in the replay and you like the content, think about subscribing, please. You can really help the channel, help us get the message out. We share our experience, and we're trying to make everything better. All right, we're trying to make the country a better place. Turning Guns, thank you for being here. Okay, what's the idea behind this video? First off, I'm doing it live because I'm lazy. I quite honestly did not want to shoot a video and have to edit it and then post it online. So I decided, hey JB, hey Rabbit. Rabbit says we all gonna die. No, well, eventually, yeah, we will. But anyway, so I'm doing this live so I don't have to do all that other stuff. Plain and simple. Okay. Now, this video, I ran across a post today that had some information in it that I felt like I really needed to share with everybody. It was such a good post. I had to share it with everybody. And the reason why I thought we needed to share it with everybody is because all day long, all we've been seeing is videos, very entertaining videos of lefties melting down and screaming, why, and pulling their hair and being very dramatic. I find it interesting that they had to set the camera up, film themselves, edit the video, and then post the video. I find it very interesting that all this rage and everything was spontaneous, but they had to do all that stuff. So the post in question, okay, you guys may have heard of this. The guy's name is Konstantin Kisin, Kisin. He is a British satirist, and you may have seen him on. He's been on Fox News. He's been on Rogan. He's been on a bunch of different shows. But hey, Sam, based on voting record, it looks like Lawrence is overdue for another raid. Okay, anybody that doesn't know, that is a Missouri-Kansas border war reference. Still very fresh in our minds here in this part of the country, and quite honestly, I am behind enemy lines. But anyway, so Constantine is a British citizen, and he wrote a letter to his fellow Brits and Europeans. And here, let me just pull it up. Give me 1 second. Let's see here. StreamYard's hard. Where is it? Well, if I can see it, bear with me, guys. There we go. Present. Share screen. 10 reasons you didn't see this coming. All right. So he was sharing with his fellow Europeans and Brits why the election turned out the way it did. Okay? Oh, Rabbit says rum's on me tonight. Mine is a fake Arnold Palmer. Anyway, so I guess the Europeans are really shocked about what happened yesterday. As shocked as the lefties here in the United States. And he did a fantastic job of explaining to everybody what happened and why. And he gave 10 reasons why Donald Trump won. And I'm going to share them with you, okay? So let's pull this up, and I'm just going to read them. So I'll highlight them, and we'll go over it and we'll discuss it. The first one: Americans love their country and want it to be the best in the world. America is a nation of people who conquered a continent. They love strength. They love winning. Any leader who appeals to that has an automatic advantage. 100% correct. Rush Limbaugh always used to talk about American exceptionalism, and that was Americans. Not that we felt that our country was the best. It's that we always felt like we needed to be the best. All right, and and everybody my age, the nominal age on the subscribers on our channel, a vast majority of them are above 40 years old. All right, so we all grew up in an era where America were the good guys and America was great. And the left lost sight of that. And Trump tapped into that narrative succinctly. He make America great again. The very phrase that he used every single day of the campaign spoke right directly to our souls, and we want that to happen. And the left, that they didn't want it. They just did not want it. Hey, Virginia, I missed some other people too. I apologize. Who else popped in? Brian Griffin popped in. Who else? I guess Brian in Virginia and Grateful Hearts Ranch. Thanks for showing up, guys. I really appreciate it. But we want to win. Europeans love soccer. The biggest problem with soccer is that games routinely end in a tie. And I've always said, even though I coach soccer, there is something distinctly un-American about a game that routinely ends in a tie. In fact, in soccer, in the leagues, you can tie people and still win, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. All right, tying can be a good thing. Next one. The next one is, now remember, as I read this is all aimed towards the European British crowd. Well, I guess Brits are European, but like I said, these apply. These really apply to America, and I think they're very very impactful. Let's put it that way. Unlike Europeans have not accepted managed decline. They don't have net zero here. They believe in producing their own energy and making it as cheap as possible because they know their prosperity depends on it. It's the managed decline part. The managed decline part that strikes me. If you guys remember back, let's go back to 2012 when Obama was elected, and the economy had tanked because of the housing crisis. They did not have, hey devil dog, they did not have a good plan on a recovery, and so the news started promoting this. This is the new normal, and the decline of the American economy, the decline of American prosperity was something that they were managing. Fast forward to the Biden years. They told young kids, these kids that are coming of age now are the first generation of Americans that have it worse off than their parents. And they were told, this is the new normal. No, it's not the new normal. This is not normal for America. And Americans understand that, and they want better. And the comment about producing energy strikes directly to the policies that Biden had. Under Trump, we were a net energy exporter. Under Biden, we were importing about 75 to 80% of our energy, our fuel and stuff. It's a no-brainer. And if there's any liberals that stumble across this and are saying this, comment down below. Jump into chat. guys, if somebody jumps in, don't beat them up. If after the video, comment down below. Let me know what you think. The kids help prove that this is not a new normal. Warms my heart. Yes, young Americans voted for their well-being. They didn't vote for a managed decline, which is exactly what was in store for us. Okay, the next one. Prices for most goods in the U.S. have increased rapidly and are sky high. What the official statistics say about inflation and the reality in people's lives are not the same. 100% correct. If you go out and you do an aggregate increase in prices based on the stated inflation rates by the United States government, the overall net increase from 2020 to 2024 is 22%. Now, remember, this is not including food and energy prices. Energy prices went up because of Biden's energy policies, and food prices have gone up because of a number of different reasons. A lot of it are due to economic policies. So the media wanted people to ignore their experiences. And this is one of the reasons, I'll say this right now. This is one of the reasons why I think that the mainstream media's hold on the American narrative has been broken, at least temporarily. There's no saying that they won't regroup and they won't come back and they won't regain it. But for the time being, their narrative is broken because they wanted people to look at reality and think it was something else. I'm sorry, it doesn't happen. That's not for normal, well-adjusted people. That's not the rule. That's the exception. Okay, and as you can tell by the voting, there's a lot of people out there that bought into it. Hey Barry, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Well, a while, I guess, since last Midwest Preparedness. Okay, the next one, number 4. Unlike you, okay, anybody that just came in, these are aimed at Europeans. Konstantin Kisin wrote this as a letter to Europeans to explain why Donald Trump got the election, okay? But it holds true for us too. Unlike you, Americans do not believe in socialism. They believe in meritocracy. They don't care about the super rich being super rich because they know they live in a country where being super rich is available to anyone with talent and the drive to make it. They don't resent success, they celebrate it. Okay. Now, here's something. Yeah, Elon and X, you are the media now. Yes, we are the media. Here's something to think about. He's talking about Americans. I'm gonna amend what he says. I'm gonna say after November 5th, 2024, we can honestly say that most Americans believe these things. There's a large swath of the population that does not believe in what we're talking about tonight, but they have no choice but to admit that a majority of the people believe in it because Donald Trump not only won the Electoral College, he won the popular vote. Okay? So, I don't know about you guys. I admire the super rich. I have never gotten financial advice from somebody that's poor that's made me richer. Period. I've never done it. I've the only advice I've gotten that has made me better off financially has come from people that are richer than I am. And knowing that, okay, Yodi wants me to tell the story about the black squirrel. Okay, after I get done with number 5, I will tell the story about the black squirrel. Okay, but I know if I listen to rich people, I will become rich. And the rising tide raises all boats. And so the rich being rich makes me more prosperous because I've never met somebody that has not invested money into a company that's been a successful business owner. You have to have money to make money in this country. You don't have to have a lot of money, but you've got to have the mentality that you can become rich. There's a whole generation or two of people in the United States that view themselves as victims. And quite honestly, guys, as Gen Xers, we're probably a little bit at fault of that because we did not fight enough. We just wanted to be left alone, and we let the schools and the media push this narrative. Well, it's time for us to take this narrative back. Okay, this is the one thing that came from last night that I am more adamant about now than ever is we need to start pushing the narrative. We have to paint a better picture than the other guys can because it's coming. It's coming. They're not even going to wait till Trump's in office. The media and the left is going to start pushing this narrative about how evil he is and how bad he is, and everything he does is going to be bad. And we have to fight against it. We have to paint a better picture for people. Okay. Number 5. I like this one. I really like this one. Americans are the most pro-immigration people in the world. Read that again. Seriously, read it again. Americans love an immigrant success story. They want more talented immigrants to come to America, but they refuse to accept people coming illegally. I'm going to read that again. But they refuse to accept people coming illegally. They believe in having a border. Look, put it in the chat. If you agree with that, just put a 1 in the chat. You know, my family is from the second and third wave of immigrants that came to America. Angela's family on one side of it was first wave, pre-United States. They were in the United States before it was the United States. We are extremely pro-immigrant, and I don't care where you come from. You know, the left has this idea that if you bring somebody to America simply by them walking on the soil or taking a drink out of the tap water, that automatically makes them an American. No, it doesn't. Somebody who comes in here illegally has already, number one, they've shown that they have a complete disregard for our laws. They don't assimilate. Some of them do. I'm painting with a really broad brush. I've known some illegal immigrants that were, Rabbit wasn't paying attention. If you're pro-immigrant, if you're pro-legal immigrant, put a 1 in there. And if you agree with the statement that we don't want illegal immigration, put a 1. All right. So that's the question, Rabbit. You know, but we are the most pro-immigration people in the world. We have more immigrants, legal immigrants, coming to our country than any other country in the world. It's just one of those things that you cannot deny. Uno, he's speaking Spanish, and then Virginia's talking about Juan. You know what? I like Juan. As long as Juan is here legally, I like him. You know, but the people that come here through legal means all tend to want to assimilate. They all want to tend to be Americans. You know, you don't see in the vast majority of the legal immigrants, you don't see the flag of their country flying above their house. You know, you go. It used to just drive me nuts. There's a place in Kansas City where you drive down the road, and all you saw was Mexican and Honduran flags hanging off people's houses instead of American flags. That's not right. That's just not right. Yes, we have a process. Follow it. You know, and if we can't enforce and have people follow our laws, then what's the use, right? Okay, that was number 5. So I'm going to tell the story about the black squirrel. Did any of you watch Harris's concession speech? So I was at work. I was sitting at my desk, and I pulled it up. And about 15 to 20 minutes before she came out and gave her concession speech, a black squirrel ran across the state, the like coming out of the White House, ran across that and went into the bushes. And it was a black squirrel, at least from where everybody was sitting. That's what it looked like. And I made a comment, and somebody in the chat that I was in looked it up. and was laughing because traditionally, oh yeah, Virginia, it was hard. It literally, it was like 5 seconds of the stream. But the black squirrel in a lot of cultures, if you have a black squirrel cross your path, that means that your life is going to change, and that you're bound for good luck, and things are going to go for the better. All right. And I started thinking about it. And when I told Yoda, she's like, "Well, the black squirrel crossed her path, so she's going to have better luck." No, she didn't come out for 20 minutes. That squirrel came between us and her. And as far as I'm concerned, yeah, it's mythology. It's folklore and stuff. But the whole idea behind it is, if you see a black squirrel, they're so rare that you're bound to have good luck. You could take that squirrel running across there, and everybody watching that, as a sign that America is in for better things. And I realize there's no logic behind it. It's just what it is. But I'm gonna go with it. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. All right. And personally, I think it was the ghost of Peanut. Seriously, I think it was the ghost of Peanut making an appearance to let everybody know exactly what was going on. Okay, here we go. Number 6. Americans are sensitive about racial issues and their country's imperfect history. They believe that those who are disadvantaged by circumstances of their birth should be given the opportunity to succeed. What they reject, however, is the idea that in order to address the errors of the past, new errors must be made. DEI is racist. They know it, and they reject it precisely because they are not racist. All right, that one, that one right there. I'm not gonna lie. That is 100% correct. Um, we haven't had a good past. Our history is replete with mistakes. The genius of the founding fathers, though, was that they wrote our founding documents, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, everything. They wrote it with our ability to fix these problems, and we did fix them. We paid that price in blood in the 1860s, and we paid that price in social unrest during the 1950s, 1960s. We paid that price. Yeah, who doesn't? What society doesn't have a sketchy past? Um, yes, DEI is racist, and anybody with a modicum of self awareness and truthfulness in them will say that, because DEI is purposely looking at people based on their gender or their race. You can't argue that. That's the whole idea behind it. And I can tell you from experience that that the opportunities that people that are born into disadvantaged families in America are greater than any other place in the world. We are the most unracist country. Now, does racism exist? Yes, it does. Everybody's racist. Even even the most woke liberal person, the most unbiased person in the world, they all share something in common. They're all going to be racist at some level. All right. The problem, the not the problem. The what's the word? I can't think of the word I'm looking for. We don't look at people by the color of their skin. All right. I've said it many times. I am a culturalist. I am not a racist. I don't care what your skin color is. What I care about is the content of your character. And at some point, the left in America lost that. They lost that compass point, because Martin Luther King, with all the problems he had, was 100% correct on that. We should be looking at people and the content of their character. And some of the dudes that I really looked up to as a teenager, and They were junior college guys. I was in high school. I was a freshman, sophomore. They were junior college. Some of these guys went on. They came from the most disadvantaged places in America. One of the guys that played basketball for my father at Wentworth Military Academy came from the worst neighborhood in Indianapolis, Indiana. In fact, we were taking kids out. I went with my dad on a recruiting trip to New York, Long Island, and we took a bunch of the cadets and we were dropping them off. And this guy and this other guy that came from the same neighborhood said, "Hey, drop us off here. We don't want you driving into our neighborhood because you're white." That's how rough the area was. But anyway, this guy went on to become a brigadier general in the Army and was deputy commander of TRADOC in the late 90s or late 2000s. It was. So yeah, I looked up to these guys. They you know, we are not a racist country. In fact, the people that break us up and balkanize us by race are the ones that are racist. Brian says most people who claim to be black need to learn colors. They look brown. My cell phone is black though. I met very few. Yeah, it's the whole skin color things. That's one of the things about the crowns that always drove me nuts. We're all different shades of brown. Hey, Yankee, Rocky Mountains heard from. Okay. So anybody that's come in from the time I started this, as a reminder, this was written by Constantine Cassini. He is a British satirist, and these points are written to Europeans. So he's talking to Europeans about how Americans are in his view, and he nailed it. All right. Okay. Number 7. Americans are the most philo-Semitic. Philo-Semitic means pro-Jewish nation on earth. October 7th and the pro-Hamas left's reaction shocked them to their very core because, among other things, they remember what 9/11 was like and they know what jihad is when they see it. Um, okay, this is a sore subject to a lot of people. A lot of people conflate a dislike for Zionism with the Jewish people. His statement is 100% correct. By all estimates, the second largest Jewish population in the entire world is in the United States. They would not be able to come here and function if that were not the case. Now, we can dislike Zionism. I the more I learn about it, the more it bothers me. But as far as the Jewish people go, we have always supported them and we have always given them a safe haven. Well, I take that back. When the Democrats were in charge pre World War II, they did not give the Jewish people a safe haven. It wasn't until after World War II that we started doing that. But we do. And he's 100% correct. I don't know about you. I can remember exactly what I was doing at 9:30. Actually, it was 10:30 Central Standard Time because it was an hour after the second plane hit the Trade Center. I can remember exactly what I was doing that day. Now, we've got one and a half, almost 2 generations of kids that don't know what that was like. They were not there. They did not experience it. And the only thing they have been exposed to is indoctrination that all Jews are bad. And this is why the pro Hamas people were able to get the traction that they got. And we can blame the media too. The media they let them say from the river to the sea without any pushback whatsoever and no discussion about what that actually entailed. And here's the fact of the matter, guys. I don't care how you feel about the state of Israel. The Jewish people are the barometer. They are the canary in the coal mine. And if you go through history and you look at the way the Jewish people were treated by tyrants, once they got done with the Jewish people, they moved on to other groups, other people that disagreed with the government. And if we want to live in a society where the government is not going after us, we need to make sure that we are protecting the people that are most vulnerable to things like this. Okay. Number 8. Americans are extremely practical people. They care about what works, not what sounds good. In Europe, we produce great writers and intellectuals. In America, they produce and attract great engineers, businessmen, and investors. Investors. Because of this, they care less about Trump's rhetoric than they do, and more about his politics than you do. Excuse me. Got the hiccups. Okay, I'm gonna before I discuss this, I'm going to call something out. America creates great writers and intellectuals. We have produced the American experiment has produced some of the greatest minds in world history. All right, I'm going to let it slide. I understand. I understand what he means. Historically, if we look at the total sum of great writers and intellectuals, Europe's got way more of them. But that's because they've had a longer track record. Give us another 400 or 500 years, and I guarantee you America's going to have more great writers and intellectuals than Europe does. All right, especially with the track that Europe is on now. But to the essence of the number 8, Americans are extremely practical people. I don't know about you guys, but there's a saying that I live by. If it's stupid and it works, it ain't stupid. Very practical. We want stuff to work the way it's supposed to. People on a majority of voters in the United States do not care about Trump's, and this is proven as of yesterday. They do not care about Trump's mean tweets. What they care about are the policies that make our lives better. And if the problem is that we're dealing with the opposite side of the coin here, the political coin in America, is we're dealing with people that live off their emotions, their feelings. Yeah, Rabbit, we care about results. That's one of the things. That's one of the things that probably one of the things that drove me nuts about the Obama years was the cash for clunkers thing. They were destroying perfectly good vehicles. They were destroying capital and then pretending that it was progress. No, it wasn't progress. Mean tweets. Yeah, you know what? Turning guns. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I am looking forward to all the chaos that ensues when Trump speaks his mind. Seriously, I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, here we go. The next one, number 9. This one kind of strikes close to home with me. Oh, let me highlight that so you guys can see it. Americans are deeply optimistic people. They hate negativity. The woke view of American history as a series of evils for which they must eternally apologize is utterly abhorrent to them. They believe in moving forward together, not endlessly obsessing about the past. Amen. A freaking men. Um, one of the I used to get on I used to get on Angela's case about this, and to her credit, she saw it and she changed. How many people are out there on the internet blackpilling everybody and doing nothing but talking about the negativity? Um, the whole managed decline thing was an entirely negative movement. The 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 entire campaign of Biden and Harris were negative. I honestly believe one of the reasons why the numbers were so pro-Trump and anti-Harris was because the last week and a half, all we heard was Hitler, Hitler, Hitler. His supporters are garbage. Negative, 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 and Trump and Vance both, and by extension, Elon Musk painted a very positive picture about what can come from the next 4 years. And it's our job it's our job as citizens to paint a better picture and to not be negative. It's okay to point out what's wrong, and it's okay to talk about possibilities and probabilities, because we have to prepare for that. But we always have to be on the positive side of the equation at the end of the day. If you want to black pill people, give them a white pill at the end of the conversation. Give them a solution. Let them know that everything's going to be okay as long as we move forward and we do things the right way. Okay. Skane says, what's odd that their followers are talking how they don't want to be part of hate, and yet it is all they display in themselves. It's ironic. Well, Skane's, one thing I've come to realize is that many Marxists and liberals, and I use liberals as the modern American liberal, not the classic liberal, the large L, not the small L. They're very self-unaware. And that is why you see video after video of these people saying things like, well, I don't wish harm on anybody, but I wish they would have killed Trump. Or I don't have hate for anybody, but I hate Trump supporters. That's why, and they unironically, they see nothing wrong with what they just said. And part of it is the Nazi thing. If it's okay, Nazis are bad. I think we can all agree. Nazis are bad. I certainly hope everybody in the chat can agree on that. And if you tell people that somebody's a Nazi and they're bad, then punching a Nazi becomes okay. He's a bad man. We should punish him. So we need to go punch him. And that is exactly what they pushed. They pushed that through the Obama years. They pushed that through the Trump years, and they pushed it through the Biden years. And so you've got, again, a generation and a half that thinks it's perfectly okay to punch somebody that disagrees with you. But is the contradiction. Okay, here's my real turning guns. And this used to drive my kids nuts. Used to just drive them batty. If somebody says something and they go, well, I believe this, but I believe this, you stop them and you go, okay, everything that came before the word but is a lie. Say that sentence again without using the word but. And people will get mad at you if you do this to them, because they can't say what they want to say without inserting that but to make everything in front of that but a lie. Give it a try. Just do it for yourself if you don't believe me. Give it a try. Okay, number 10. Number 10. This is the last one. This is the 10th thing that Americans believe, and it's why a majority of Americans elected Donald J. Trump as the 47th president of the United States. Again, if you have stumbled across this in the replay, or you are not a subscriber and you're watching this live, think about subscribing. Here on Grumpy Acres channel, we talk about homesteading and prepping. We talk about things that affect our lives as homesteaders and preppers, politics, religion, education, you name it, because it's all interconnected, all right? Think about subscribing, okay? Number 10, America is a country whose founding story is one of resistance to government overreach. They loathe unnecessary restrictions, regulations, and control. They understand that freedom comes with the price of self-reliance, and they pay it gladly. Amen. I'm going to read that again. I got to read number 10 again. America is a country whose founding story is one of resistance to government overreach. They loathe unnecessary restrictions, regulations, and control. They understand that freedom comes with the price of self-reliance, and they pay it gladly. Guys, this is exactly what we talk about every time we do a live and every video that we do. And I'm going to say this. The whole Peanut and Fred thing, the squirrel and and raccoon that were euthanized by the state of New York is a prime example of what America is going through now and what a majority of Americans dislike about our country at this point in time. 5-hour raid, 10 armed officers treating these people like terrorists. And then they euthanize the animals. And I understand there was a concern about rabies, and that's what happened. Turns out, you know, the accusations, questionable. The lady who made the accusations and the guy, the owner of Peanut and Fred, called out, deleted all her social media, and she did a whole bunch of stuff that made her look really guilty on this account. You know, but the whole story there is not about a squirrel and a raccoon. It's about government overreach and regulations that are onerous, and people are getting upset about it. People are getting tired of it. There's no reason. There's no reason why I should have to register my greenhouse with the state of Kansas in order to sell stuff commercially. There's absolutely no reason. Seriously. You know, and the last 4 years has seen our government attacking the Second Amendment. They have attacked the First Amendment, and they pretend that there's nothing wrong with this. And they go about their business. They've created this entire infrastructure of the deep state, the system, the Leviathan, whatever you want to call it. They've created this thing, and it works against American citizens. And the vote yesterday, November 5th, 2024, was was speaking directly to that. That was exactly one of the reasons why we voted the way they did, because Donald Trump and his politics, his policies give us the ability to be more self-reliant, gives us more liberty. And oh, and I'm gonna say this. I said this last night on our live. I'm gonna say this again, and I will keep saying this. So Constantine used the word freedom. He said they understand that freedom comes with the price of self-reliance. Liberty. Liberty comes with the price of self-reliance. Freedom does not. I'm going to let it slide because we use those words interchangeably when we shouldn't. Freedom. Freedom is man's ability to do as he pleases. There's been a lot, like through human history, so much has been done because man has had the freedom to do what he pleases. Genghis Khan literally changed the CO2 levels on the planet because he killed so many people. They weren't creating as much CO2. It's in the soil records. He had the freedom to do that. What we're actually talking about and what we should be promoting is liberty. Liberty is freedom tempered by morals and ethics. This is what causes us. We have the freedom. I have the ability. I have a gun. I have a gun. I have the ability to go out and shoot anybody that I want. I have the freedom to do that. And it's proven. There's very little that the government can do to stop me, right? If I've got the gun. Legal, illegal, whatever. I've got the freedom to do that. But my liberty tells me that that is wrong. I have the morals and ethics to understand that just because I don't like somebody or they have wronged me, I don't take a gun and I don't go out and resolve it that way. That's liberty. Liberty is self-control in the face of being able to do what we want. Okay, and that's what we should be pushing. Oh, Rabbit's getting 8 more batteries for his solar setup this weekend. Self-reliance, absolutely, absolutely, guys. Okay, listen. Oh, Yoda says, "Ask me questions." Listen, guys, if you guys want to discuss any of these points or say anything, please do it. I only planned on being on here for 30, 40 minutes, and we're already well past that. This is important. People need to understand why things have happened the way they have happened, and I know that these points, as I'm talking about them, that you guys you guys understand it. This is more for the people that don't understand it. You know, I said this last night, and I firmly believe this even more today than I did yesterday. I woke up this morning and my life did not change. Had Kamala Harris been elected, the problems that I faced would have been exactly the same. Hey Tiger, hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling good. You know, but my there are things coming from Washington D.C. that affect me, but my daily concerns are more revolving around what's locally happening here and what my life is here on the homestead. Um, it's our responsibility. We the people are the ones that are going to fix this. Donald Trump being elected, he if you guys think that Donald Trump is going to fix all your problems, you're wrong. He's just a man, and the only thing he's done, the only thing his election has done, is buy us time and space. And it is up to us. It is up to we the people. And I go back to that comment over and over and over again. We the people are responsible for what happens in this country. He's going to give us the opportunity. He's given us time and space to try to fix these things. Had Harris been elected, it would have just accelerated. All right. The media narrative last night was broken. As of this morning, they don't have the power they had 48 hours ago, and it's our responsibility to run with it. Okay, Skanes has a question. I missed it. Hang on a second, guys. Let me get up there. Okay, so Skanes. Okay, so here's what Skanes thinks. Okay, so do you think the disintegration of morals has damaged the ability of the younger generation to understand the difference between freedom and liberty? Um, that's a tough one. That is a tough one, Skanes. No, I'm gonna say no at the end of the day. It's our responsibility. It is our responsibility to start from the bottom and work our way up and rebuild the morals and ethics of our communities. We rebuild the morals and ethics of our families and then our communities, and then our counties start following suit. We're already seeing that happen here in the county that we live in. We're already seeing a resurgence of people wanting responsible and ethical government. And this is because people are understanding what's going on is not right. So no, I'm not going to say that it's damaged beyond repair. They are damaged. Hey, still intrigued. Oh my gosh, I'm getting tired, man. My everything's getting blurry on here, and that's what happens. My eyes get tired. That's what happens. DJT may not be the answer, but he was damn sight better than the alternative. Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I voted for Trump the first time because he was the lesser of two evils. I voted for him the second time because I thought he was the right man for the job. This time, he's the lesser of two evils in my book. There's some things that concern me, and it's just me. It's my personal opinion. That does not detract anything from his message. That does not detract anything from the policies that he's proposing. I'm just saying that I wish that there would have been somebody else that could have come in. The one thing he did, in my opinion, I like J.D. Vance. Now Vance could be a deep state plant, like I said last night in our live, but as of right now, Vance looks like a very positive, and I could see potentially 12 years of this type of policies and thinking, and the liberal mindset, the woke mindset being beaten back. I certainly hope that that's the case. I certainly hope that we get 12 year or yeah, 12 years of not having to worry about the government making things worse for us. And this is one of the things. Southern Prepper One had a video today, and his whole premise behind the video was, now that Trump's in office, people are going to take their foot off the pedal. They're not going to prep, and they're not going to be doing it at the same level they were. And he's 100% correct. Look what happened the first time that Trump got in. When Obama was in office, people were prepping like crazy. They were just going off the rails. As soon as Trump got into office, people stopped doing it. In fact, they started selling their preps. That's how we got some good stuff. You're going to see the same thing happening this time. People are going to think that they don't have to work. As far as I'm concerned, you need to put the pedal all the way to the floor right now. If you were prepping and homesteading at a certain pace, you need to jack it up, because once Donald Trump is in office, assuming he gets there, um, Rabbit just made the point he's not in office yet. That's 100% correct, and I'm not 100% certain that they're going to allow him to get there. We'll see what happens. I'm very pessimistic on what the left might do, because they are cornered animals right now. And cornered animals are very dangerous. But doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You should put the pedal to the floor, and you should be prepping and homesteading like your life depends on it, because it does. Okay? Well, that is about it. We've gone through the 10 steps. I will go back. I'm not going to do it tonight. I will go back tomorrow and put a link in the description below. I should have done it when I created this live stream, but I didn't. I wasn't thinking about it. I will put the link to this article by Konstantin Kasin, so that you guys can go see it if you want to. I appreciate everybody being here. Oh, okay, Tiger. Oh yeah, I said this last night. I'm going to say it again. So the GOP's campaign slogan this election cycle. Oh, hang on. Let me address what Tiger just said. The GOP's campaign slogan this time should have been, "Our Democrats are better than yours." Um, None of the people, Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk, Robert F. Kennedy, none of these former Democrats have come out and denounced their previous stances. What they've all said is the Democrat Party has become too liberal and they've gone too far. There's a very distinct danger. I know he's got a question. I'll read it here in just a second. There's a very distinct danger that the GOP is going to become the party of socialism light. They're already well on the way to it. There's a whole bunch of people, politicians in the party that vote Democrat on a regular basis. We call them rhinos. Now, again, this goes towards painting a better picture. We need to lean on our politicians, not in a hard way, but we need to get them, and we need to bring them over to our way of thinking. Let them understand that the ideas that they have are not conducive to a great America. All right, Tulsi Gabbard is anti Second Amendment liberal. She is. All right, Elon Musk. Elon Musk made his fortune off of my tax dollars. Tesla would not have survived had it not been for government grants or government money through the Obama years. All right, Robert F. Kennedy. The only things that most conservatives agree with him on are the fact that the FDA is corrupt and our food's unhealthy. All right. So, and there's a multitude more, but we need to make sure that we're a better way. All right, and we need to lean on them, but not be mean. All right. Okay. So Rabbit has a question, and I'm sorry, I did not see it the first time. Can you make your body parts detachable without negative repercussions? What body part would it be and why? Your appendix. Other than that, I don't see anything on your body that you could detach and uh, not be lesser. All right. Yoda says tonsils. Actually, there are negative repercussions of tonsils. Uh, removable eye. Okay, you guys are weird. I'm serious. Some of the questions, some of the questions you guys talk about. I'll have to research Tulsi more, but I don't think she's anti. She was when she was running in the Democrat primaries. She was talking about assault weapons and banning them and doing stuff like that. Um, she's a far sight better than most of the other uh, Democrats out there. But yeah, I mean, but and there's no saying that they won't change. I'm just saying that there's a distinct danger right now. Okay, uh, anti has a stand your ground states. Oh, people letting you know. Perhaps the spleen. Absolutely, absolutely, Tiger. Listen, guys, Tiger hit it right on the head of the nail. Don't take everything I say with a grain of salt. Okay, go do your own research. And if you find stuff, if you find anything that's interesting, share it down below. Share it in the comments down below. We need to share this information that we find. Uh, you know, Rabbit Rabbit says he doesn't use his heart, and we know that's all BS. He's a great big softy. He's out he's out helping the widows in the Ozarks and the lake area and doing what's right. Don't let him fool you. He's a big softy underneath that crunchy shell. Uh, Okay, Skanes is studying to become a nurse, and she's using big fancy medical words. She's talking about fat, adipose tissue. She's talking about fat. Okay, guys, listen. I really appreciate y'all being here. I know it was on short notice. I felt it was important to share this with you. It was a very positive message. I loved what he wrote, and it more Americans should see what he wrote, and because it's true, he hit it right on the head. We are very generous, we are very giving. We want success. We don't like liars. We don't like people that want to lose. um, it's all true, right? And so this is going to help us paint a better picture, paint a better narrative going forward. So share this share this idea, not necessarily this video, but the ideas in the original post with people that you know, and let's get everybody on the same page. Oh, Skanes is already a nurse. I apologize. I apologize. Well, if you're not licensed, you're not a nurse there, Skanes. You've got the training, you've got the know-how. You got to have that license. I worked in a hospital long enough to know that people with nurse knowledge could not work in the hospital without that license. So technically, they weren't nurses. Mm. You know what? I would trust Gaines with my first aid needs any day of the week. Okay. Okay. Where are we? Oh, you guys are still talking about body parts. Okay, listen. You want to support the channel, and you want to go further down the self-reliance road, go down in the description below and check out our affiliate links. You can get some really good deals on some really good stuff. Uh, no, and Angela changed her thing to 10%. She wants to push it. Oh, she's not a registered. Okay, I stand corrected. I stand corrected. I said I would trust you. Isn't that good enough? Yeah, Skanes has problems backing the trailer out of the driveway. That's another story. Maybe the next time she's up here, we'll get a video of that, because that's actually pretty funny, as long as she's not hitting my Jeep. Go hit the affiliate links. If you made it through this video and you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Most importantly, as Yoda said, be 10% better, and go out tomorrow and live a life done free, guys. Take care.
In a world without rule of law, where society hangs by a thread and chaos reigns supreme, there emerges a beacon of survival and strength. Introducing Without Rule of Law, a deck of 300 emergency preparedness survival scenarios to help people navigate this lawless realm. They cover survival topics from self-defense to resource management strategies and more. Get on the same frame of mind as those around you.
Tough times never last, but tough people do.